Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sleep Detective podcast. Today, I have Deidre Norman here with me, and we are going to talk about the chakras and how they relate to sleep and insomnia. So, I'm really excited to have her here. And I just did a journey through the chakras 7-week class with her that was amazing. And so I learned so many things in that class. And of course, it's focused on ourselves, but I couldn't help thinking about all the people I help out there as we were talking about different imbalances in these chakras. And so I want to get her take on, sleep issues from more of an energy uh, perspective, since I talk about a lot about the imbalances in the body that relate to sleep. So this is completely different, but I think very important as well. And so, Deidre, thanks for being here, especially. I know you're about to leave for India in a few days, so I'm sure you are very busy. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, I feel so honored to be here with you. This is amazing.
Awesome. Well, let's briefly, could you tell people a quick summary of what the chakras are and why it's
Yeah.
important for them to be in balance?
Yeah. So chakras are energy centers. They're like little vortexes of energy, and we have many chakras all throughout the body, but there's seven main chakras that go up along the spine, starting at the base of the spine, going all the way up just to kind of the seventh chakra is just maybe 2 inches above the crown of the head. And those are I guess I mean they're all important, but those are the ones that we want to work with primarily. And what they are, they're like little databases, data banks, and they hold memories. And they also affect the physical body. So each of the seven chakras affect different parts of the physical body. And they also are said to be little karmic centers. So what that means is, so everything we come into this life with, even from our past lives, information is stored in here. So a lot of times we come in to this life with imbalances in chakras that aren't even associated with this life, that this lifetime we want to work with and deal with. So that's why. And then when we're talking about the physical body, an injury in the physical body can affect the energy center, or the energy center can sort of manifest in the physical body. So they're a really beautiful thing to work with when we're on a healing journey. And the other thing to mention is that the chakras are part of the subtle body. And so the subtle body is our energy body. And so I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but that's something to really notice. They're energy centers. They're part of our energy system, and we are made up of energy. The most densest form is our physical body, so we tend to focus on that. But really, our energy body is what we're primarily made up of. So when we start working with the chakras, we really start to heal on this deeper level.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Okay, so I remember we kind of in the class we did the chakras in order. So we started with the root chakra, and I remember you saying that, when we are busy all the time and stuck in fight or flight and can't relax, and that can be an imbalance in the root chakra. And I think of so many of my clients who are like this, and that fight or flight is continuing into the night, and that's why it's affecting their sleep. But yeah, I'm curious what you have to say about that. And then also like, how we can help people kind of start balancing these.
Yeah. So each of the seven chakras have different attributes, or I guess different ways of being associated with them. And when we talk about the root chakra, it's right at the base of our spine. And the root chakra is associated with the energy of the earth. It's all about grounding and rooting down. And so anytime this chakra is out of balance, we can tend to move into this flight or fight mode. And what happens is a lot of us have it imbalanced, maybe from traumas in our lives, or even just growing up, maybe not necessarily. Like when we talk about instability, it can be emotional instability, physical instability. There's so many different forms. So if we grow up in an unstable environment, or if had any trauma, sometimes that root chakra can be out of balance on a daily basis and we don't even know it. And what can happen when it's out of balance is there's there's a couple different types of people and couple different types of things that can happen. But one of the things that can happen is we can be overly busy, we can be overly stressed, and we can almost feed off of it like a little bit of an addiction. And it's a way of sort of dealing with that unprocessed trauma of that root chakra. And then what happens is our nervous system is on our nervous systems are on high alert constantly. And so, like you said, we're like that through the day, then we go to bed and our nervous system doesn't even actually know how to calm itself down. And there's so many different things we can do to work with that. One of the main things is it's connected to the element of earth. So we can spend, even if it's 5 minutes of day out in nature with our shoes off, stepping in the grass, that old thing that you hear of like hugging a tree, anything we can do to connect in with nature. And that helps to ground the energy down. Another really beautiful practice is meditation, of course, and to think about and to close your eyes and to really visualize and sense roots coming down from your roots. So you're really feeling that sense of being grounded into the earth. The other thing we can do is we can just have affirmations, which are really powerful. And I really recommend the affirmations before you go to bed. So you bring your hands right on the low belly, right at that. So at the root chakra, right at the base of the spine. So you bring your hands down to that space, you close the eyes and you breathe. You just take long, deep breaths and you try and breathe down into that root chakra. And the affirmations are, I'm safe in this moment. I'm safe in my body. And I have the right to be here. And those are three really big ones that naturally just calm the nervous system down. And it's a really great practice to really feel into, not only say the affirmations, but embody them, feel them. And what that does is it tends to calm the nervous system. Meditation can be really challenging for people with an imbalanced root chakra because the only time that nervous system knows how to rest is when they sleep. So when they start to meditate, it can be agitating. It can actually put people to sleep. It can do all sorts of things when that root chakra is out of balance. But those, I think, are maybe the top three things you can do to balance that root chakra that everyone has the ability to do. It doesn't take extra time out of your day, and you can really start to calm the nervous system.
Yeah, that's awesome. And of course, for a lot of people, it is going to be diving way deeper than this and really working on this. But yeah, I think if this resonates with you and, you feel like you're constantly in that fight or flight, like there can be things in your body that are causing that. And it can also be like your body's kind of stuck there from, like you were saying, Deidre, like childhood trauma and things like that. So yeah. And like you said, we don't even always know it. I know that I used to be super busy all the time. And I mean, one of the blessings in a way of getting insomnia and, kind of losing my health for a while is that I had to slow down. I
Yeah.
had to learn how to do that. And so that's going to be part of the journey for a lot of people as well.
And that busy, 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 what it's actually, it's avoidance of our feelings. And it can be really scary. And so it's just reminding yourself that it's okay that it's scary and just taking it slow. And I think that's one of the things is slowing down can actually be really scary.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
And so having those mantras, I'm safe in my body, I'm safe in this moment, it can really start to create, okay, it's okay to slow down. My system is going to feel better with
Yeah.
this.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And so then I remember when we were talking about the third chakra, that's where the term, insomnia came up. So I'd love for you to explain more about that.
Yeah. So a couple of things happen. And one is so the tendency for a lot of people I mean, a lot of people in general, a lot of people who also have insomnia and who have trouble sleeping, a lot of times what happens is we have a tendency, if we have any sleep issues, speaking even from my own experience, is there's a tendency to be out of the body. Like if you have a tendency to sort of know that you're one of those people where you're out and sometimes you'll just space out, or you have a hard time pulling up old memories, that's usually a sign of, oh, I've spaced out. I've left my body energetically. And so when we leave our body energetically, what we're doing is energetically, we're leaving right out of the crown of the head. We're leaving out of the seventh chakra. And so what happens is when we try and go to sleep, that's a really unsafe place to be when we're leaving out of the seventh chakra, because the seventh chakra is where our soul comes in when we enter this world, and where it leaves when we exit this world. So when we energetically leave the body and move out of this space, what happens is we're telling our system that this is not okay. We're scared. We're leaving. We're trying to get out of here. And so the recommendation is to, before you go to bed, is to breathe in and out of the third chakra. And this is where we act. So there's something called astral traveling, which a lot of times some of us do unconsciously. It's where you're in a dream and all of a sudden you're in another country or you're in another place. That's our when we're dreaming, we're actually energetically in those locations. And so what we want is, we want to energetically, before we go to bed, bring our hands on our third chakra, which is the third energy center. It's kind of right below the rib cage. And we bring our hands there and we set the intention that in my dreams, and if I'm astral traveling, this is where I'm leaving from. I'm leaving from this space. And so what that does is, this is a safe place. This is our center of who we are honoring ourselves. So this is where we want to, when we dream and we want to go, this is where we want to go from. And when we leave from the crown of the head, what can happen is, that's where a lot of nightmares happen. So if you're a person who has a lot of nightmares, what you're doing energetically is you're leaving the physical body out of the crown chakra, which signifies death, essentially. So when you're coming in and out of the third chakra, you're like, okay, everything's safe. I'm okay. Traveling, I'm visiting people. You're doing whatever you're wanting to do in your dreams. And I think what happens a lot of times is, we don't intentionally go to sleep. We just, I mean, that I used to just lay down in bed and hope I fall asleep and hope I don't wake up in the middle of the night. And it never would happen. But when you go to sleep with intention, you have such a different experience.
I love that. Okay. And I didn't know that you had sleep issues as well. So that's
Oh
really
yeah, I used to have horrible nightmares.
gotcha.
Horrible nightmares.
Okay. And
And
so,
once I learned that trick of like staying in my body, and so what I would do is hold my hands on my third chakra, and I'd close my eyes and lay down before I went to bed. And I would literally say, I'm grounding my spirit in my body. And I'm grounding my spirit and my body down into the earth. And if I astral travel, I'm leaving out of my third chakra. I'm staying connected to my physical body throughout the whole entire night.
yeah.
Because
So,
I had the tendency to just whoop, escape out. I didn't have memories from childhood. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh, no idea. I was leaving out of I didn't understand it. And it really was transformative and life-changing.
yeah, that's amazing. My sister always jokes because I don't remember a lot from our childhood. And she's like,
Oh,
did we
really?
have the same childhood? And I'm like, I don't remember things. And
Like, I don't know.
yeah. And now I'm kind of thinking that, yeah, that has a lot to do with it. So it's really, it's really interesting.
Well, so as a coping mechanism, as a little kid, you have to find some way to survive. So a survival mechanism to not feel all the pain or fear, whatever is coming up, is to energetically leave your body. And then you don't have to feel feelings. But then what happens is it becomes a way of being. And that's when you get into, and then when that happens, also other people's energy can come in your system. So as you're falling asleep at night, bringing it back to sleep, you're filled with all this energy that's not yours. You're escaping out of the body. So you're not only having nightmares in that sense, but you've also got a lot of stuff that's not yours, kind of causing aggravation in the system.
Yeah. So interesting. I mean, so I did an intuitive reading with you yesterday, and I always think that I didn't have childhood trauma, but then when I'm talking to you about it, I'm like, I lived with a mother who was depressed and who would, freak out sometimes and leave us, my sister and I, we were under 10 years old for a couple hours, and we didn't know where she was or when she was coming back. And I'm like, okay, well, this is explaining a lot. Like, but I was never abused or, like
Right.
what I think of as trauma with a T, but that's still trauma for a young child. And so, yeah, so I can see how I had some coping mechanisms that then, because you don't know how to process things when you're young,
No.
then you grow up continuing to do those things. So,
And I think that's a really great point of trauma doesn't have to be like, I wasn't severely abused in all of these things, because it can be something as simple as starting school for the first day, leaving your mom. Like all these little things can really create a traumatic response in the system. And then we end up, if we don't heal, it stays with us and we end up being still reacting from that place of trauma from that little being as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Another thing that I found really interesting, we were talking about the third chakra and insomnia, was that's also where detoxification issues are,
Mm.
like a lot of gastrointestinal issues. And I just thought that was interesting because so many of my clients have those things as well. And that's also what's contributing from a physical standpoint to their insomnia. But it's just interesting that it's so connected energetically too.
So one thing with so the third chakra is so associated with all of that gastrointestinal stomach issues, detoxification. What it's when you think about the third chakra, to share a little bit about it, it's also where how we digest. So not only our food, but it's that center of digestion for all the other information that's coming our way through our day. So whether it's social media, TV, friends, work, it's how we're digesting it. And so if all this stuff is coming in through the day and we're not able to digest it in a healthy way, or even if it's, especially that's why they say, you don't want to be watching TV or movies, or not to mention even just the screens, but also because your system has to process and digest that. And that's all in this space. And if something hard happened during the day, your system's, if it's having a hard time digesting it energetically, that's going to keep you up at night. Um, and so one of the biggest remedies is to get grounded and start to bring that energy down. And so that's why being grounded is so helpful. So if you're not grounded, it's going to be harder to have good digestion.
Right.
So we have the first, the second, and the third chakra, and they go all the way up to the seventh. But if the first one is not balanced, the third one can't be balanced. So that's why it's always great to start with the root, start to balance that. And then the second and the third, where a lot of that digestion happens, starts to be easier because we're grounded, we're safe, we can digest stuff.
Yeah. Awesome.
And the other thing is unprocessed anger.
Mm.
That's held in this area. So if we have a lot of that and we're not dealing with it, that can also keep us up energetically.
Yeah, definitely. It all makes so much sense. And then it's affecting us physically. And so it's both for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one of the tips that I thought was pretty simple too, that you mentioned to me privately was breathing through your left nostril.
Mm.
Like, is that before bed or first thing in the morning or anytime?
Really, you can do it anytime. I think the most beneficial time to do that is right before you go to bed. And you literally just close off your right nostril and you just take long, slow, steady breaths in and out through the left nostril. And the timing, you want to do it for about 4 minutes. That's the ideal time. And you can do it lying down, you can do it seated. And so we have the right and the left hemisphere of the brain. And so when we're breathing in and out of the left nostril, it's connecting in with the right side of the brain, which is our moon channel, which is the resting channel. It starts to allow the nervous system to relax. And that's why you want to do it for a couple of minutes. So you give that system time to relax. So that's a really beautiful, beneficial breath work exercise. And before bed, I think is the best time, but really anytime you can calm your nervous system during the day, it actually helps at night. So even if you're doing it at 10 o'clock in the morning or noon, you're sort of creating a space where the nervous system learns how to relax on a normal daily basis versus just only at night, so you start to create that way of being. The other thing that's really helpful, I think, also is to do legs up the wall 10 minutes before bed too, or really again, anytime. It's
Yeah.
called the everything pose because it really activates the parasympathetic nervous system so much that it literally is called the everything pose, because if you're in that calm nervous system state, the body's in a healing state. And when we're in the sympathetic nervous system state, our system can't actually heal.
Yes.
So that's another really good legs up the wall, 10 minutes, 4 minutes, breathing in and out through the left nostril. The other thing is if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can breathe in and out through the left nostril too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Perfect. So we have your bedtime routine here for you.
Yes.
And yeah, and anytime you're having trouble sleeping is, yeah, doing that breathing through the left nostril and helping calm your nervous system is going to help. So I love that. I love, practical things that people can implement. And yeah, anything else that you want to add about this topic?
Um, I think that's pretty much it. I guess the only other thing that I would like to add is that we are made up of energy, and our energy is what's communicating out in the world first. And so the more we start to focus on the subtle body, the energy body, we really start to heal the system on all levels, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And so I just highly recommend starting to just learn more about the subtle body, your energy body, and start to pay attention, slow down, breathe, tune into the energy of your body, um, because it's really powerful, and it is extremely transformative and life changing when we start working with the subtle body, the energy body.
Yes, I'm just getting started, but I will agree with that as well. And Deidre is an amazing teacher of this too. So yes, tell us where people can find you and kind of what you're up to, what people could maybe join. I think you do the chakras class in the new year, so that will probably be another year away. But I highly recommend that. But there are other things that you're doing as well.
Yeah, thank you. So you can find my website, deidrenorman.com. That's my handle for Instagram and Facebook. And coming up in May, I have a Kriya course, which is sort of a deeper dive into the subtle body, but Kriya means evolutionary action. So it's working with breath work, mantra, mudra, which are different gestures with the hands, and movement to start to create change and shift, transformation in the energy body, and therefore in every other aspect of our physical body and our lives. That's coming up in May, and that's an online offering and an in-person offering, 3 different weeks, 2-hour sessions on Friday nights. And then I have the chakra course coming up in 2025 and January, of course. Every year I do that. And I'm also, if you stay on my website, there's lots of different things that I offer throughout the year, little courses and workshops. And then I'm also have 2 trips that I'm doing in India in November. One, I have 2 spots left. It's a spiritual pilgrimage. We'll be going to Varanasi, Rishikesh, and a little beautiful retreat up into the Himalayas. And then I'm doing a second retreat with my friend Rachel Hunter, and we will be doing a Kali tour. So it's a trip all honoring the goddess Kali, where we'll go to the Kali temples in Calcutta, and then we go to Jaipur and Pushkar. So both are going to be really magical and amazing. But my
Amazing.
website has everything, or my Instagram.
Yes, awesome. I love it. All right. Well, thanks so much for being on. I appreciate all of your wisdom
Yes.
and yeah, bringing this into the world. It's great.
Well, thank you so much. I feel so honored, and I just love all the work that you're doing.
Thanks,
It's
Deidre.
amazing.